And boys and girls, it's Mrs. Slosher and Mrs. Drube here at the Colchester Town Hall, and we are coming in to make a donation to the food bank. So come on along, and we're going to learn a whole lot and get some answers to your questions. All right, here we go. Map to the town hall in case you guys don't know where you're going, and we can see up here that on the second floor there's social services, and that's where we're going to go to the food bank. Hi boys and girls, we're upstairs on the second floor of the town hall, and we are standing outside of room 205, which is the Colchester's Youth Services. Say good morning. All right, over here we have a cart, but we're also going to go next door because we still have some groceries to donate. We're going to go to this room over here, and we're going to see if anybody's here to receive our groceries. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Colchester Food Bank. This is where we give away food for people who might not have enough money for other food. So we have a lot to cover today. So we're going to get started.
All right, and boys and girls, this is Mrs. McClafferty, and she is the awesome kind of director of the food bank and takes care of all the people that need food as well as all the food. And she has a son in kindergarten in Mrs. Stanovich's class.
So I hear that it's Kindness Week, and you guys are doing a big food drive for us. So this is amazing. So we want to show you behind the scenes and how this all works. So Mrs. Drube already went over the donation card.
Well, we actually would love to have you talk
Okay,
about
great.
it. We just
So kind of where it all starts is how we get our food is through donations. That's people who are just giving us food or donating money. People can come 5 days a week, and the cart is right here, right outside of our office. You can see what we accept and what we don't accept, and right now we have some donations that need to go upstairs. So we have two food banks. We have a big food bank upstairs, and then we have a smaller food bank downstairs. So we are going to start with the big upstairs food bank and show you how it all works. So why don't we go?
And Mrs. McClafferty, do people sign this form when they bring a donation in?
This is for people if they want proof that they made a donation. Sometimes people like to have a thank you
Or
card.
like a tax write-off?
A
or
tax
thank you
write-off,
card?
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. So we're going upstairs, boys and girls, to the big food bank.
Here we go. So here we are. We're upstairs on the third floor of the town hall. This is where all the food is brought first. Mrs. Drube has a bag of donations that came straight from Colchester Elementary School. So the first thing we do to keep track of all the food that we get and give out is we're going to weigh the food. And right behind us we have this big scale. Mrs. Drube wants to show us. Okay, so that food came in at 6 pounds. Sometimes we have food that comes in 150 pounds. And we write everything down and keep track of it. We also have a ramp here that one of our volunteers built for us. So when we have a lot of food, we can put it on this cart here, and we can just go ahead and roll this right up. And then we make a record of all of the numbers, and every month we do a different statistics of how much food that comes in. I can tell you guys that last month we got in, let's see, 7,954 pounds of food just for the month of March.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine how much that is, boys and girls, if this bag weighs 6 pounds. And Mrs. McClafferty said that last month they got in 7,000 pounds of food. Lots of these bags full.
So let's go take a tour. Well, when we first come to the food bank, so what we would do is we weigh our donations. We already did that. So the next thing we do is we check to see, make sure that the food isn't expired, because we don't want to give out expired food if we don't have to. So here, actually, so we can find expiration dates in different places. This is December of 2016, so that's still good. This is October of 2012? I don't know. And then here we go. And so then what we do is if it's not expired, we would take it and we would go put it on the shelf in its home. So if you guys want to come over here and kind of check out the different food types that we have.
Yeah.
Right here is a cart of food that is all ready to go downstairs to the second floor food bank that we'll see in a few minutes. So we take all the food from up here and bring it downstairs. So this is getting ready to go down for Thursday morning. We do food bank on Thursday mornings. So that's when we see the majority of our families to come in and give them some help. So let's take our blueberry mix. Let's find its home. Let's see. So we would come over here. I'm finding a tag. It says dessert mixes. I would say the blueberries are a dessert. So we would take a box and we would put it here. And everything that goes in the food bank will have a year on it. And so this makes us know that this is not expired because we're in 2016 and this doesn't expire until 2017. So this is how we keep track of all of our food. So if you turn around and look at the boxes, you can see that no box goes on the shelf until it has a date written on it. Another way that we keep track of our expired food or expiring soon food is this table over here. So if something is expiring within the next few months, we'll put it here and we'll make sure that we pull this food first. So right now Mrs. Drube's looking at some juice. So this expires in November. So we're going to kind of keep this off the shelves and make sure that that stuff goes downstairs first.
Pay attention to all signs and only take the amount that is specified. So that goes hand in hand with your cards that are on the shelves.
Right.
So that everyone can get some food each week.
So one way that we do things on Thursdays is we actually have families shop on the cart and then they bag when they come back up front, just to make sure that everybody is taking what they're supposed to be taking and that there's enough food left for everybody, because back in the month of March we saw 175 families and that actually equaled, let's see, 264 people. So we really want to make sure that we have enough food for everybody. So that's how it works. So let's keep going. Now we've got macaroni and cheese.
That's a favorite of boys and girls.
Another good
sure.
selection. We can have 2 of these, so we'll go ahead and grab 2. Now we've got our canned veggies. So this one says we can take 3. So we can take 3 of the varieties that we have. So let's see, we've got peas. Those look familiar. We've got corn, yum yum. And we have green beans. So these are ones I'm going to take because those are my favorites.
Nice.
Now we've got some canned tomatoes, we have canned pasta. Some of you might be familiar with these. I'm going to take a couple of these. Now we're down here. This is called other canned meat. What this would be your salmon. We've got some pork, some canned chicken. So again, sometimes we do get some kind of strange things in the food bank. Not everybody would be familiar with what this is, but some people are and some people will take it, and the ones who don't want it will just leave it here.
Okay.
So I'm going to take one of these. We've got some canned yams. We can make some sweet potatoes if we'd like. We've got some beans. We can
So
make
you
a
can soak
soup,
those beans,
or,
right?
Yep, we can soak these. We can do lots of things.
So those are good for baked beans.
So now we're going to go down. We've got snacks. And again, boys and girls, don't be worried because the shelves do look a little empty, but it is Tuesday and it's not Thursday. Come Thursday morning, these shelves will be full. And actually, I can take a picture of that for Mrs. Drube so she can show you.
Awesome.
I can show you guys the difference of what it looks like before and after. But for snacks, it says 1 big or 4 small. Because sometimes we just get little packs of raisins or little granola bars. So there's no small snacks. I'm going to take these.
A box of breakfast bars.
Breakfast bars. So that, again, it looks pretty familiar. Now we're on to desserts. We're going to take one of those. I'm going to take some pumpkin spice muffins.
Those sound delicious.
Does sound good. So now we're on to drinks. And it says 1 big or 4 small because sometimes we get the big bottles of juice. And sometimes we get the small ones. So here we go. I'm going to take 4 of these. These are actually very, very good if anybody hasn't tried them. cranberry and grapefruit juice.
Wow.
It's really good.
Yummy.
Canned fruit. Let's see what we got here. We got applesauce.
So you can take 2 of those.
I can take 2 of these.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab 2 applesauces. There's some cranberry here and some other different things. My favorite's the applesauce. So again, we're a self-shopping food bank. We're making our own choices, and this is my favorite. So this is my choice today.
Boys and girls, this is looking like kind of your mom or dad's or grandma's or grandpa's shopping cart, isn't it now? Starting to get very full of yummy, healthy food.
Yes, it is. And now we've got some ramen noodles. We can take 2 of those. I'm going to go ahead and take 2 of those. And then remember, we had pasta, so we can't have pasta without sauce. This jar of sauce came in right from CES, so we're going to go ahead and take this.
Nice.
And look at down here. We've got some different things. Look. Here's some Miracle Whip, so we can make sandwiches. We can mix this with our tuna and make some tuna.
I see some enchilada sauce or some gravies down there too.
So these are the kind of different things that we get in.
So I imagine in your mind too, like your mom and dad's or grandmas and grandpas, you're planning some menus.
Yes.
So Mrs. McClafferty is thinking about like what she's going to put together for her family's meals for supper and possibly for lunch or on the weekends.
Right.
So she's thinking as she's shopping, just like your family does.
Exactly. So now we could talk about this over here for a little bit, because remember when we went upstairs we talked about expired food. We checked for dates. So we do keep expired food. Expired food is actually safe for up to a year past the expiration date. But what we do, boys and girls, we keep it separate because we don't want to include it on our main shelves because we don't want people to think that we give out expired food at the food bank. So this is actually just a bonus.
Oh, wow.
If people want to take it and they don't have a problem with it, they can take it, because if you look at the can, I don't really see anything wrong with it. So these are kind of just freebies that people can take, and look at these. Some lucky family is going to get some Oreos.
Is there a way that you can tell Mrs. McClafferty if the cans are not safe?
Well, what we don't like to see is dented cans. We don't like to see rust on the cans. Those are the kind of things that if you open them up and serve them to your family, you could get sick from that.
Okay.
The expired is okay. My rule is that if you wouldn't put it on your dinner table, throw it in the garbage.
Okay.
So if a can doesn't look good, we're just going to throw it away, because we don't want anybody to get sick when they come here to the food bank.
Absolutely.
So now we're done with our food shopping. Let's go over here and see what we can get over here. So not only do we have food, we have what's called toiletry items. So toiletry items are the things you would find in your kitchen, in your bathroom. So we always have toilet paper. I'm gonna grab some toilet paper. We can all use this. So some shampoo, some conditioner. We've got some bar soap. This is good for the shower. We have some toothpaste. We've got toothbrushes. I'm gonna go ahead and grab all of this. I'm gonna get myself a toothbrush. And now, if you look down here, we've got pet food. So if a family comes in and they have a cat or they have a dog, they can get some pet food too. I know I have a cat at home, so let me see if I can get some cat food. Yep, I'm gonna get some food for my kitty.
All right, so you can take 1 large or 2 small of those too. Awesome.
Yep. All right, so I think we're just about done in here. So now we are gonna go check out the fridges and the freezers. We're gonna see what we can get.
That's the non-perishable foods.
See what we have.
So let's go. Boy, we've gotten a lot of yummy, healthy foods.
Okay, so let's see. This is our produce fridge. Produce are vegetables. So some of the stuff that we had last week, we still have some of the stuff, but not all of it. So I'm gonna take some of it. And again, don't be worried. We've got more food coming today.
Okay.
So let's look in here.
Now,
see what we got.
You had mentioned before, Mrs. McClafferty, that Noel's had packaged up some hamburger
Yes, they did.
and donated that yesterday.
Yep.
So the food that's in the refrigerators and the freezers, does that come from any of our local grocery stores?
Actually, we buy it from ShopRite.
Okay.
ShopRite's the easiest because they do deliver. Let's look in the fridge. And again, don't be worried. We are getting more food. Actually, I heard it just arrived.
Oh, so maybe we can see them on behind
Maybe we
you.
can see it, yeah.
Ooh, yay.
Oh, let's see what we got. An avocado. Wow. That's exciting. Avocado. We've got some tomatoes.
Let's make some room here.
Yeah. We actually might have to start using the bottom. We've got so much food. Oh, and here we've got potatoes. So when you take the potatoes, boys and girls, you would take what your family would use for the week or so. So I'm gonna take 5. I think that that's good for me. Let's see if there's anything else. Ooh, some onions. Wow, we can chop up some onions and maybe put them in our pasta sauce.
Or in your chili, huh?
Or in the chili. But right here it says 1 milk, 1 egg carton, 1 bakery item. You know where we get bakery items, boys and girls? Stop and Shop. They deliver. They donate their day-old bakery items to us. So sometimes we have cakes and bagels and donuts and yummy stuff. Oh, look at this. We've got milk. Who can't use milk?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to take some because I know that I can use some milk at my house. So, while we're in the fridge, let's take a look at the temperature. Each one of our fridges has a temperature in it, and that's to make sure that all the food is at the right temperature level so that none of it goes bad. So if we shut this, we can show you, here is our temperature log. So every single week we have to update these and make sure that our food is safe. Now, okay, wait a minute. We did 2 and we have 3 left. Let's see what else we have. What's this? Here's our hamburger meat.
Oh,
This
Noelle's.
is for the chili bag.
Nice.
So I'm going to leave this here because I don't have a chili bag. These are going out with the chili bag, so I'm going to leave this here. But I can show you. And here we have cherries.
Wow.
So you can make smoothies, or you can put these in pancakes, or you can make a pie. I'm going to take some. These look good. Let's see what we got in here. Ooh,
Oh, boy.
apples, my favorite. I'm going to take a couple apples for my house. These are things that everybody would like to eat. We've got pears. I'm going to take a couple pears. And there's more potatoes in there, but I already got potatoes. And then last but not least, we do give out meat as well. So, let's see. We've got ground chicken, we have ground turkey, and more of the hamburger meat. We have some cheesy mac. So what this says is you can take 1 meat and 1 non-meat. So I'm gonna go ahead and take macaroni and cheese, and I'm gonna take some ground turkey. So this is my selection for now. And actually, one thing we forgot was bread. I forgot to grab the bread. We're gonna go back and get the bread.
That would be good for peanut butter and jelly.
Or tuna. We've
Or
got
tuna,
the mayo.
yes. Absolutely.
Yep.
Or
So
even
here-
toast.
Or even just toast, exactly. So here is kind of what it looks like when you shop at the food bank. So the average family comes out of the food bank with about 50 pounds of food. So, you know, we think it's pretty good here. So, when a family checks out at the food bank, we weigh all of their food. So again, remember the big scale we saw upstairs? We weigh all the food that comes in, and we weigh all the food that goes out. This way we can keep track of how much we're doing. So let's see, we're gonna put our bags up here on the scale. This right here is actually a scale. So this bag is 9.5 pounds. And with this bag, we've got 19 pounds. And this is only 2 bags of food here.
And how many pounds? Or it just depends
Each
on what the
family,
family takes?
it depends on what the family takes. And sometimes we have turkeys. So
okay.
turkey itself could weigh a lot, or
About
the
25
potatoes
pounds,
weigh
okay.
a lot. So it really kind of depends on what we have that week. So sometimes people have 70 pounds of food and sometimes they have 30 pounds of food.
Okay.
We also have, again, going back to our seniors, we have seniors that come and they live by themselves, so they would take less food than if a family came in and has kids and a dog and all that kind of stuff. So,
Wow. So remember, our bag upstairs weighed 6 pounds, so right now we're up to 19 pounds of food going home. So now Mrs. McClafferty is going to answer your awesome questions that you
here
asked.
we go. So I got this list of questions from Mrs. Drube, and I have to say I was really impressed. These are some great questions. I get these questions from adults about the food bank. So let's go ahead and get started. Bella from Mrs. Elliott's class says, why do we have the food bank? I think we kind of covered that a little bit, but we're going to go over that again. Why do we have the food bank? We have the food bank for people who might not have enough money to buy food. We don't want people in our town to go hungry. So we are here to help them out and to make sure that our neighbors, friends, and family here in Colchester don't go hungry. Maddie from Mrs. Records class says, how do you get food? Let's talk about the very beginning when we talked about the donation cart. Everything that comes into the food bank comes through donations. So this week is Kindness Week at CES, and you guys are doing a food drive. So that's how we get food. We have schools and businesses and Girl Scout troops and Boy Scout troops and families that do food drives for us. So that's how we get all of our food here. Where is the food bank located? This is Avery from Mrs. Hart's class. The food bank is in the town hall. We're upstairs on the second floor, and we're again in room 205, so you guys can come visit us anytime you want. Okay, so this next question, actually a couple different people answered this question, so let's see. Jillian and Vincent from Mrs. Records class and Anthony from Mr. Silva's class had this question. Jillian and Vincent said, how do you deliver the food to people? Anthony said, how do you get the food to people in town? So we do not deliver food to people. We do have people come to the town hall and they get their food here. So again, we do food bank on Thursdays. People can come every 3 weeks. So we see different families on a 3-week cycle, and they make an appointment and they come here to the town hall and get their food. Emma and Nico from Mrs. Records class says, how do you store all the donated food when you get so much? Well, let's go back to that. We've got 2 food banks, remember. We've got the big food bank upstairs with the big, huge scale. And then we have the small food bank down here. So when we get a lot of food, all that food goes right upstairs to the big, huge food bank, and we have plenty of space for it. Let's see. What types of food do you need? Well, the types of food, we need any type of food. We'll take anything, we use anything. Anything that you guys would find at your houses, anything that you guys would eat would be something that the food bank would accept. Food that we don't get a lot are snack foods. So goldfish, pretzels, smart food, those kind of things, granola bars, aren't really something that we get too much of. So those would kind of be the things that we need, but also the peanut butter, jelly, tuna, cereal, you name it, we'll take it. Okay, Sam and Anthony from Mrs. Granati's class says, does it have to be fresh food? The answer to that is yes or no. So you guys can donate vegetables, you can donate meat, you can donate stuff that needs to go in a fridge or a freezer because we have space for all of it. You can also donate the peanut butter, that goes right on the shelf. So it can be fresh or it can be not. And let's go. Liam, Lucas, Troy, and Alana from Mrs. Elliott's class says, how many people use the food bank? I can tell you that on average, 150 families are using the food bank, about 250 people. For the month of March, we had 175 families and 264 people. So it is quite a bit. Let's see, Mrs. DiCiacchio's class said, how many pounds of food or items do you get a month or a year? We get 6,000 pounds of food a month and 72,000 pounds of food a year. So that's quite a bit. I can tell you that we also give out about the same. We're also giving out about 6,000 pounds of food. Just to give you guys some statistics from March, which was just last month, we received 6,988 pounds of food, and we gave out 7,954 pounds of food. So again, if we look back at these bags, this is only 19 pounds, and in 1 month we gave out almost 8,000 pounds of food, so we go through quite a bit of food here. Can people from other towns use and donate to the Colchester Food Bank? This is a question coming from Mrs. De Silva's class. So people from other towns cannot use the food bank. The reason for that is that we are a town-run operation, so only people from Colchester can use the food bank, but people from all over can donate. We do get donations from outside of town. If you have grandparents that live outside of town and they want to donate to our food bank, we accept donations 5 days a week. How do people feel when they don't have food? That's again from Mrs. De Silva's class. So we already kind of went over that. How would you feel if you don't have food? I know that if I didn't have food at my house, I would feel hungry and I would feel sad. So again, those aren't really emotions that we want our families, friends, and neighbors to feel. So that's why we're here. So if you guys ever know somebody that doesn't have enough food, you could tell them about the food bank and tell them that, hey, you know what? You guys can get some food at the Colchester Food Bank, right?
Oh, awesome.
Let's see. Can you donate pet food? What's the answer to that? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We had 2 different places that we can put pet food. Now we've got Mrs. D. Caccio's class again. Emma, Mia, Caroline, and Mason. What happens if people can't donate food but they would like to? Can they do anything else to help? Yes, they can. 5 days a week, we have volunteers come in. I can tell you that for the month of March, our volunteer hours totaled 175 hours. So that is actually more than if we had a full-time employee here.
That's awesome.
So we have the volunteers that come in 5 days a week. They help put away the food. They help check through the expiration dates. They help make sure that we don't have yucky cans that need to go in the garbage. And they keep everything nice and organized. They bring the food downstairs and stock the shelves and pick up food from the stores. So we have a lot of really, really wonderful people in our town who play a very important role in this.